years as the Jets assistant special teams coach. Reynolds takes a handoff on a 1st and 10 and picks up a couple on the play as the Giants close to the football. Tyler Nubin and Deontay Johnson in on the tackle. Azeez Ojulari also there.
Tyler Nubin, the draft pick from Minnesota in the 2nd round. Look, very impressive with Carl when he played at Minnesota. Blitzer, good tackler, times things right, knows how to play, and he's shown that so far, I think, in Giants camp.
Tough and instinctive.
He's at the safety spot with Dane Belton. Handoff again for Reynolds, and Reynolds stopped a couple of yards short of the 1st down. Let's dig a little deeper here, Carl and Phil, into Tyler Nubin and what were some of the traits that the Giants really liked about him.
Well, he's a tracker, Bob and Phil. He likes to track the ball. He's got great ball skills. And the other thing that stood out, like Phil said, he's tough. He'll come up and hit you in the run game.
As a blitzer, times it very well. Did that in college. I expect him to be a guy when they want to blitz. He might be the person they bring on him.
3rd and 2. They give it to Reynolds, and nothing happening there as the Giant front just shuts it down. Jordan Riley moved that middle, and then everybody else came in, and that's one of the hallmarks.
A lot of good numbers with his stint down in Tennessee for 3 years. Great in the red zone. Really great addition to the Giant staff. And we can see some of those results already.
Fox with a good high punt. Oshevsky gets bumped, fields it at the 16, dragged down from behind at the 20-yard line after a 50.
Goal, and it is the spot on the roster. If you pick a spot that's retools, regroups, it is that group in particular.
And with a lot of depth, and that hasn't been the case in the past. Now we have so much depth that we got to figure out how do we place these guys to be successful for one, and where do they play well the best together.
Lions added Carlton Davis as well from Tampa, a guy who started 74 games in his career, played against the Lions in the playoffs last season. Trying to stuff the Giants here on a 2nd and short opportunity. We've seen Amik Robertson make a good play in that slot, which is an opportunity that's open. You know, Emmanuel Mosley unfortunately went down with the injury. Ben Neiman, you see there at the linebacker spot, has made a nice play today.
Man, I just feel so bad for Mosley, man. He's just battled and he finally felt good, and boom, unlucky again. I mean, this guy's back-to-back ACLs and then now the pec injury. I hope he gets well fast.
Ryan Branch, another who won't play today but likely moved to safety, is the word out of camp right now. Block under pressure. He'll escape, just dump it off. And trying to make a tackle out in space on the opposite side there is James Houston, guy we've seen in a lot of 3rd down situations. 2024 Detroit Lions season tickets have officially sold out, and the Lions now taking reservations for the 2025 waitlist. The waitlist membership includes priority access to 2025, seat selection, early access to single game, and postseason ticket pre-sales. Visit DetroitLions.com/tickets to join today. It's a tough list to get on, especially right now. Exciting time for Lions fans coming off the historic season. The NFC title loss to San Francisco. Harden's by it, motivated by it, and back at it now in camp. 5:14 to go in this opening quarter. We'll talk to team president Rod Wood in the 2nd quarter, get his thoughts on the offseason and more. Everything going on around this franchise right now. Lions will open up the first 2 weeks at home against teams they played in the playoffs last year, Rams and then the Buccaneers. Look at Ennis Rakestraw there in this cornerback group. They're going to have a tough task week 1 going up against those Rams receivers. You think of Puka Nacua, Tutu Atwell, Cooper Kupp and those guys. Of course, Stafford coming in a playoff rematch. But right now, feeling out, a lot of work to be done until that regular season opener 1 month away. 1 second on the play clock there. Uku trying to get off the block. Block will roll away from him. And then gets hit out of bounds hard by Houston. He's trying to get that away.
Good coverage by the DBs, but they have to get pressure on him. That's close. That's close. A little nudge, a little. Look at there. Picture perfect coverage. But like I was saying, the defensive line, they have to get pressure. Drew Lock sat back there for way too long and way too comfortable.
And that's one thing Aaron Glenn wants to have more of this year, is pressure on the QB. We'll talk about the defensive line throughout the broadcast. That's been another unit that looks improved. This time, good tackle out in space there. Looks like Jalen Reeves-Maybin coming off the Pro Bowl year. Of course, mostly known for his work on special teams, but looking really good here early on in this preseason game.
You talk about a guy that's been playing at a high level for a while. I played with him back in Detroit when I was here, and he was a good player then.
On the car ride over here, Golden, we were talking about just the culture of this Lions team. Guys that you played with, some of them still here, and a guy like Jalen Reeves-Maybin embodies a player you want to keep around. An interception, the first of the preseason. It is picked off by Brandon Joseph, who gets it down to the Giants' 35 and gets the turnover party started with his dad in attendance today. Able to turn the ball over. Locke throws the pick. Joseph able to celebrate.
Oh, that's got to feel good.
Now that Lions interception brought to you by McDonald's. Told you can get any free size fries and a minimum $1 purchase for the next 48 hours after tonight's game at a participating McDonald's. I'm loving it. A guy who's vying for a roster spot, making a big play early on in the preseason. Had a hug with his dad in the hotel lobby earlier today, and now his dad's watching him make plays. Really cool. Sudfeld flips it out. They're going to say that was out of bounds. It was, as he was looking for Craig Reynolds there.
Nate knew exactly where he wanted to go once he didn't have his guys open down the field, but that was a pretty risky throw there.
We're expecting to see Hendon Hooker possibly second quarter, if not second half, rest of the way. Sudfeld getting the start today. Sudfeld tore his ACL in that third preseason game last year against Carolina. Went through the rehab. Wanted Darius Fountain that time. Trey Hawkins was on the coverage. Sudfeld's another guy just like Hooker who has had to work his way back from injury, rehabbing. A total of 6 starts throughout his career between Philadelphia and Detroit. Former Indiana Hoosier, now 30 years old.
That ball just got away from him a little bit. The conditions are just tough. It's pouring out there.
They'll throw it into one-on-one coverage again, but incomplete again. Wanted Caden Davis that time, a guy who's had a really good week of practice and the coaching staff loves. But this rain's been tough on the offense. It's really pouring here in New Jersey tonight. Product of Hurricane Debbie moving its byproduct of it, moving its way up the coast. We've seen a couple of punts slip through hands. We're going to see a 53-yarder here from Jake Bates. He hit from 53 in warm-ups. Kicker, a big story at the field goal kicker position for the Lions. Jake Bates, the only kicker on the roster right now. He's trying to hit this from 53, and in the rain, he does. So a good start for the leg of Jake Bates, the former Michigan Panther of the UFL, trying to get that starting field that led to ultimately 3 points on the board from Jake Bates. Now Bates will follow up the 53-yarder. Good to see him knock that through. In the weather for the second time that we get to look at this new kickoff rule. Into the landing zone it goes. We're going to get a flag down here, though. Multiple flags as Tracy gets popped at his own 2. But we'll see what these flags are for. It was Lauren Strickland, undrafted free agent out of Ball State, trying to make the team, who came up to make the play there.
The ball landed short of the 20, and that's a landing zone violation by the kicking team. By rule, the ball goes to the 4-yard line. First down, Giants.
All right, so first time we've seen a penalty with this new kickoff rule, and that's a big one for me, Golden. For me, it's the biggest one. If you don't land it in the landing zone, which is goal line to 20-yard line, offense gets it at the 40. Like fans out there, imagine that in a close playoff game. Say you're down 1, all of a sudden you kick a ball short of the landing zone, and the offense gets it at the 40. That's pretty significant.
That's huge.
It's huge.
That's roughly 2 first downs off the jump before they run a play. It's imperative that you get the ball into the landing zone at least.
Yep. Remember, goal line to 20-yard line is the landing zone, so that is very important. Locke still in the game, gonna roll out through an interception on his last pass. This one is complete, however, over on the sideline, able to find, looks like Allen Robinson, one of their new additions. With 3:05 to go in this opening quarter. The Giants looking to drive and answer back.
I mean, he's just absolutely wide open on the sideline.
And now, hole opening up in the middle for Tracy. The Giants, of course, they lose Saquon Barkley to Philadelphia. That was the big offseason news for them, as you see Dorsey made the hit there. But trying to fill that spot, you got Tracy and a few other guys.
And that's why we see why it's so important to put that ball kickoff in the landing zone, because the Giants have earned 2 first downs and they're already just about in field goal position.
Exactly. Now Locke pressured, got it away downfield, had a man, but it looked like it was tipped and incomplete. Looks like a Goudet or Nate Lynn might have gotten his hand on it.
The ruling on the field is a fumble.
Nate Lynn off the opposite side there.
For a first down.
The ball was definitely.
Detroit's going to challenge here. Up in the booth, we definitely didn't think it was a fumble. If anything, looked like it was.
Ruling on the field is a fumble. Detroit has challenged that.
It's close. It's close, but just based off how the ball comes out and still spirals and goes forward, I think it's the incompletion.
That's what it appeared to be initially. But let's remember, on the field is.
After review, it's an incomplete pass.
So, there we go.
Second down and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, I thought that was an incomplete pass.
All right. Good film for Nate Lynn, and then double down and take him back to 2nd and 10.
It was a really good job by those guys swarming to the ball once it was out. Just when you don't know, get on the ball. That's something I was taught as a young fella.
We saw Dan Campbell there. One of the things he told us in our meeting yesterday is he really wants to see hustle as an identity aspect of the defense on display today. Locke will drop back again, throw it over the middle again, and it is broken up. Really nice play from Duran Gilbert, a Michigan kid, brother Rice, alum, Detroit native, went to Northern Illinois, undrafted rookie trying to make the squad.
Very physical play, getting their arm in there, just disrupting it, just disrupted. Exactly what he now.
Duran Gilbert mentioned once a brother Rice said everything's kind of feels so full circle right now. It's a dream come true to be trying to make this hometown team. A Locke goes to the air, incomplete. Amik Robertson into the coverage there against Isaiah McKenzie. And another good play from Amik Robertson. Signing from the Raiders this offseason. Max Crosby, former Eastern Michigan guy, tweeted out, the Lions signed Amik Robertson. He said they got a dog in Amik Robertson. Only 26 years old, 19 starts in his last 34 games. Locke a little shaken up here. But the last 2 years from Amik Robertson is really when he started to come on into form.
Confidence is there. He's playing with confidence, and even right there, he just stayed in the back pocket of the receiver.
Drew Locke's taken some hits early on in this game. Signed with the Giants in the offseason, coming over from Seattle. And battling for their QB2 spot with Tommy DeVito.
Tommy DeVito, he was a hero for the
And right on cue, they're applauding the hero here at MetLife. Fans sticking it out through the rain. Quickly became a fan favorite, and on 4th and 10, they ring out DeVito here.
I think they're probably trying to get him to jump off sides here. Get a free 5. not happening today.
Lions not going to allow
Play
it.
of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
And that's a part about playing smart, understanding the situation. Really nice job by the Lions, but just staying patient. Watch the ball. Understand what they're trying to do to you, because now you force a punt.
Maurice Alexander will head back to return here. Again, mentioned he had a 90-plus yard kick return for a touchdown against the Giants last year. It's been a little trickier today in the rain conditions. Has had a couple slip through his hands. Baki broke through, tried to get a hand on that punt. This one will go into the back of the end zone. Henry Ford Health, the official health care provider of the Detroit
kid, like you mentioned, Jason, grew up in Detroit, brother Rice alum. He only played 1 year of linebacker at NIU. He was used to playing that safety position, but it only took 1 year of playing linebacker.
Duran added some weight as well toward the tail end of his college career, up to 222 pounds. Lions offense takes back over. Lone points so far coming off the leg of Jake Bates. They'll hand it off. Counts each with at least 1,000 yards from scrimmage. First time in team history that you've had a duo do that in the same season. So you're feeling pretty confident going into the season at that position. Jefferson got stuck there immediately. Coming up to make that play was Drew Phillips, the young defensive back.
Hit in the backfield. We need consistent yardage here. Makes it 3rd and long now.
Yet to convert on 3rd down. Sudfeld trying to change that, but a low throw with intentions for Tom Kennedy. Not going to find him. It's Drew Phillips again in the vicinity on the coverage with under a minute to go in this open.
It's down a distance, and then they get hit in the backfield, or they have an incompletion. We need more out of these guys on offense.
Gunnar Olszewski back to return this punt. Quick flag goes flying, and Olszewski gets cut down. C.J. Morris, who came up a little gimpy, got up. Now we're going to get a flag.
Remember, the kicking team went out of bounds on his own, number 24. It's a 5-yard penalty added to the end of the run. 1st down, Giants.
And so tack on that 5 yards. They got Stephen Gilmore on the call. And Golden, we want to remind fans that while we're not seeing the Lions starters today, they've been going up against the Giants starters all week in these joint practices that if you have a phone, if you have social media, you know have been pretty intense. Animosity and intensity, maybe 2 words we could use to describe them.
Yeah,
there is more than one skirmish.
It's been intense. Out in East Rutherford, to say the least.
You got to love just the intensity these Lions are coming out with. Going up against the opposing team as DeVito gets pressured, dodged the sack initially, but ultimately results in the 2nd sack of the opening quarter for the Lions, and it's Broderick Martin, big Broderick Martin, getting in there.
The big fella pushing him back and making the play
for that tackle position, and he's learning a lot from the guys who will be starting at that spot. We'll talk about that more throughout the course of the broadcast.